Okay, so
Man,
I'm just going through a bunch of YouTubers that I've been watching and financial situation. This guy I've been watching like within the last month or two, and
Bitcoin and Ethereum
I don't know what to make of this guy.
have made some big.
It's like I don't know what to make of any of these guys who actually have channels on financial, I wouldn't say advice, but they're giving their take on what the financial atmosphere is, the stock market, Bitcoin, etc., etc. And this guy has a channel devoted to stocks, and Bitcoins, and he essentially a lot of times when I watch his videos at the end of the day when the market is over and everybody knows what the numbers are. And and when you have a channel, you know what, I don't know if he actually, I haven't looked at his losses and wins, his stats and how he does as far as his, I mean, he does definitely have a portfolio, I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually looked into this guy enough. I mean, I do trade some stocks and I do trade some cryptos, but it's just pretty much a gambling thing to me. I don't take it seriously. But every one of these people who actually gives out quote unquote, I don't think they, yeah, they're not, I think they could be sued for giving out financial advice. What they do is actually they give their viewpoints on a sometimes a day-to-day basis, but it's going to be a day-to-day basis because these guys like Peter Schiff, Tech Lead, Gerald Salente, he's kind of in that arena. These guys kind of give pretty much, they do a video every day pretty much on how the market is. Some of these guys will just absolutely, their whole entire channel is pretty much gloom and doom. That's how they make their that's how they make the audience. That's how they get the audience. It's pretty much doom and gloom. All right, bad news is always bad and good news. Peter Schiff has been out there essentially given a bearish take, or not even a bearish take, but like an absolute apocalyptic take on the markets for like 12 years now. But this guy, he does his thing. I don't think his track record, as far as if he's
Moves over the past few days here. And
I don't think his track record or is that great when he gives out advice on what to do, when he gives out his views on what the market is going to be. Normally when I watch this guy's videos, I watched it at the end of the day. For whatever reason, I actually don't watch his videos during the day, but I do want, he does put out a bunch of videos during the day. So he does actually put videos pre-market. And a lot of times I've noticed that he gets it wrong. I notice a lot of times that these channels all gets it wrong a lot, quite a bit. Their wins versus their losses are probably like worse than 50-50. I think there's this other financial channel that does stocks, that does graphs on stocks, and like every other week they'll put out this graph that says it's gonna be like the 1920s when the depression hit and the stock market collapsed, etc., etc. You guys know what these channels are about. I mean, that's gonna be the constant bad news always sells better than good news, and misery loves company. A lot of people actually watch this channel because they're not in too great of a financial situation, and they take comfort in somebody broadcasting or somebody forecasting that there might be some worse news for everybody else, and that's how these channels actually thrive. This guy actually does give like pre-market his pre-market views. He does give his at the end of the day views, it's like I don't know what to make of this guy. He you know he does have like I don't know, he's got to be at least likable because of the amount of his audience that he has. He kind of I find he's kind of I don't know. He reminds me of somebody. He reminds me of somebody, either a celebrity or somebody I know or whatever. For whatever reason, I don't know this guy, but he always reminds me of some guy next door, your neighbor who's who comes around and he'll just he'll talk to you about what's happening in his life, in the stock market, what stock he's playing, stuff like that. I guess what I'm saying is I can't really take this guy seriously. I can't take this guy seriously, isn't it? And it's not like I take any of the other YouTube channels that does financial viewpoints and stuff like that. I don't take any of those people seriously either. But with the Gerald Celentes, with the Peter Schiffs, I think they actually have a track record, even though all they do, if you watch any of their channels, is it's always doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom. It's what they do. It's what they do. Peter Schiff's been doing that doom and gloom forever, and Gerald Celentes been doing doom and gloom forever. It's never, we're gonna have a great year. We're gonna have, this market is just absolutely excellent. It's gonna be, you're gonna make a lot of money, etc. It's never like that. But anyway, I guess I don't have much to say about this guy, but he doesn't really, outside of him putting out information on certain stocks, him putting out information on what his views of the market is, and for the most part, I do not think he actually gets most of what he says right when he puts out his viewpoint, pre-market viewpoint, or if he goes out maybe throwing out a forecast for what's going to happen in the next couple of days, the next couple of months, etc., etc. But for whatever reason, I watch him because he's a good talker. This guy is a good talker. He'll just blah 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 about stocks and the market and stuff like that. And I'm just listening to this guy. I'm not taking this guy seriously. I'm not taking this guy's trading viewpoint as advice. It's just what he does. I do trade stocks here and there. I used to do that quite a bit as far as trying to day trade, which what 99% of people do is they try to day trade and they lose money trading stocks. But that's neither here nor there. He's a good talker. He's a good talker. A lot of times I'm like listening to him and it just seems like he's just regurgitating what everybody else is saying. And when he gives like a forecast, it's really hard to take it seriously when he's like doing these forecasts of what the market's gonna be like, etc., etc. And he always gets, because here's the thing, here's how this works with, and I'm not hating on the guy. I'm not bad mouthing him. It's just the way this works with so many other channels that deal with my financial viewpoints and stuff like that. It's just a lot of people have like very short memories, and if any of these people give out like really bad viewpoints or forecasts, and I'm not gonna call it advice because they don't call it advice what he does, because you can get sued for that. I think you can get sued for that. That's why a lot of people, that's why I think even NBC Finance, MSNBC, these finance channels actually have these disclaimers, etc., etc. And I don't think these people want to throw it out that what they're doing is giving advice. It's just a viewpoint, it's a channel on the viewpoint on the stock market. But yeah, I don't take this guy's viewpoint seriously. He's a good talker. I'll listen to what he says. Most of the time, it's just regurgitation of what everybody else says, and he'll put up a video at the end of the day, and he's just gonna go over what the market did, etc., etc. Hindsight is 2020. Every time he puts out a video of what's gonna happen the next, what's gonna happen, the next day, or the days in the future, or what the forecast of the trading situation is like, maybe in a couple months and stuff like that. It's like nobody knows. Nobody knows what's gonna happen at all. The next day, nobody knows what's gonna happen with the day trading within like minutes of what a stock does, etc., etc. Let's all be honest. A lot of these channels are just hocus pocus, and some people watch these channels because they think they can get something out of it, but most of the time, these guys are just good talkers most of the time. It's like, I wouldn't say they're like the snake oil salesman is what they call it, but they drag you into this, babble of just, sometimes it's technical, sometimes it's not technical, sometimes it's just, you're sitting around the table and you're just listening to somebody talk and stuff like that. And that's essentially what this is about, with these channels. Because, to be honest with you, if these channels were really good at predicting the future, they would be like, they would have a gazillion subscribers, and you guys would know who these people are, because you guys would be making bets on everything they say. But anyway, let me stop babbling. That's my viewpoint on this guy.